Hey there, Bitizens, and welcome to another Bit Vlog. My name is Francesca, and this week I want to talk to you about my top 5 Sega games which have replay value. Now, I know a lot of the time with video game nostalgia, when I go back to play the game, it's not nearly as good as I remember it being, whereas these 5 games are still replayable, they're still a lot of fun, even 10, 15, 20 years after they came out. Now, I know a lot of people will want games like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage in this list, but they weren't really games of my childhood. I haven't really played them, and I don't think I have the same love for them as other people, so just be aware of that. Now, the first game I want to talk to you guys about is called Afterburner 2. I know absolutely nothing about Afterburner 1. This was the one that I used to play. Now, back in the day, at my grandparents' house, we had a Sega Mega Drive plugged in. And this is a fantastic game because I have a lot of siblings, so we used to take turns on this game. Effectively, you are a jet, and you have to fly through the level, shooting down other jets, and progressing. You have different kinds of bullets. But what made this game so good for me as a kid was that we could swap turns. Basically, you tended to die quite quickly. I wasn't very good at the game, and as a result of that, what it meant was that it's very easy to kind of switch around with my siblings, even though it was a single-player game. On top of this, I remember it very clearly in black and white, because the TV at my grandparents' house was a black and white TV, and lots of games I used to play on that, like Real Monsters and Afterburner and stuff, I don't actually know how they look in colour until replaying them later on down the line. Next up, we have a really obscure game. I don't think I've ever actually met anyone who's ever played this game other than my family. But this game is called Todds Adventure in Slime World. And effectively, you're like this little man, and you have to venture through levels of Slime World, going through like avoiding slime pools and defeating bad guys. And what made this game so good is that it has a very, very strong and very fun co-op. So you can play 2-player where you have 2 little guys adventuring through Slime World. And it's kind of interesting the way the difficulty works. There are certain hazards that basically just one-shot you, whereas most hazards do like a little bit of damage, a little bit of damage, a little bit of damage, which you can replenish in the clean water pools of Slime World. But this isn't a game that anyone I've ever met has actually played, so if you have played this, let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't played it, like, check it out. I think it's really fun. But you know, maybe it's not for you, but you should definitely try it. Now, the next game for me was a hard pick. It was a toss-up between Castle of Illusion and World of Illusion, which are both Mickey Mouse games. However, the winner for me has to be World of Illusion, and I think part of that is also because it is a multiplayer game, and I had siblings as a kid, so all of the games we did tend to play a lot were the multiplayer ones. But World of Illusion is a fantastic little game as you play as Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck as you venture through the Worlds of Illusion. It's got really kind of fun mechanics. You can kind of dick each other over a little bit, which I think is always good in a multiplayer game, and having come back to replay it, it does stand up to the challenge. Castle of Illusion, on the other hand, still a lot of fun single-player game, and I think much more difficult. I don't think I've ever completed Castle of Illusion, whereas, except on the easy difficulty where you only do about 3 levels, whereas World of Illusion, I have played through and I have completed it, but it is also a little bit challenging. Next on the list, we have basically just Sonic. Like, I'm not going to pick a specific one, though my favorite one is probably Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Just Sonic in general. Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles. They're all super replayable. They're also super iconic, and the best part about them is you gotta go fast. On top of that, again, it's got a nice multiplayer. So you can have Sonic and Tails. Admittedly, Tails is a little bit more like kid brother mode, so you know when you had a little kid brother or kid sister and they wanted to play, so you just give them a controller that's not plugged in. I mean, in Sonic you can just actually give them a controller that is plugged in and tell them they're playing the little fox dude, though he was my favorite character, and that's probably why, because I have older siblings and they made me play as Tails. But the Sonic games are just super fantastic. They're super consistent. Well, they were back in the day, and I think really like these games still stand up as solid platforming games today. They're still quite challenging, especially towards the later levels. They are tough to complete, and doing so in one sitting, which was how you had to do it back in the day, is again something that is definitely challenging. Last but not least, we have a game that is probably also my all-time favourite movie, and that is another Disney game. Although it's not Aladdin, this game is The Lion King. Now, The Lion King on the Sega Mega Drive is a fantastic game. To me, I don't know, I love it. I absolutely adore the game. The level design is great, going through the story mode. You have fantastic music, you know, reminiscent of the songs in The Lion King, and towards the end it does get really just difficult. Like, I can basically whiz through the game up until the lava level, and then once I get to lava level, I die a lot. And as a kid, I never completed this game, but I have since gone back and played through the game and completed it, and the final level is, it's just amazing. Like, spoiler alert here, at the end of the game, you basically climb up Pride Rock, which is difficult enough in itself, then you have to defeat Scar, and you defeat Scar by throwing him off the top of Pride Rock, at which point Simba then proceeds to just roar, like, at the sky to just, like, show his dominance. If you haven't tried it, do give it a try. I know a lot of people will eventually get stuck on the Stampede level, but for me that one's more or less just memory at this point because I've played the game so damn much. And that just goes to kind of testify the replayability of all of these games. All of these games now in 2015, and I'm sure beyond, still stand up and still do well. And you'll notice that a lot of them are multiplayer or have multiplayer aspects, but Lion King is not. Lion King is just bloody good. But those are my 5 replayable Sega Mega Drive games, or Sega Genesis games, or whatever, Sega games. Let me know what your favorite Sega games are in the comments below. Stuff like, you know, Echo the Dolphin. I could never figure out how to play it. I've tried it since, and I still can't really figure out how to play it. I'm very, very bad at it. Maybe Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Kid Chameleon. There's a lot of good games out on Sega. And I'm sure there's some hidden gems like Todds Adventures in Slime World that you guys may have played that I've never experienced. So let me know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. That would be awesome. As usual, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thekilobits and on Twitter, at the Kilobits. Do check those out. They'll basically give you up-to-date notifications of when videos go live if you're not used to the kind of weekly schedule of, you know, here's the storm from me on a Friday, vlogs mostly on a Saturday. Sorry for the last few weeks. Like I said, I've been very sick. I said this in my Here's the Storm video. And I just wasn't able to speak, so I had to kind of give the vlog and the HOTS video a miss last week, but I'm really sorry for that. And if you want to support us monetarily so we can move from Sega games to current games, you can do so at patreon.com/thekilobits. I've been Francesca, I'm feeling super nostalgic, and I'm going to go play Sega games because they're just good. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.